I've been suffering from depression for years. A few years ago, I went through a particularly rough patch where everything felt difficult and overwhelming. If I was able to pull myself out of bed, I'd go through the day like a zombie. It felt like a part of me was bullying me, taking every opportunity to sabotage my life. If I did make it out of bed, I wasn't present to my surroundings at all. It felt like my head was 1,000 miles from my body. Even ordering a coffee in the morning became an insurmountable challenge. Waves of anxiety would wash over me as I stared at all the options on the menu. I'd be so worried about the people waiting behind me that I'd order something else I didn't even want. I was so wrapped up in my feeling of anxiety that I'd end up being late to everything, which would trigger even more anxiety. I remember showing up late to a meeting at work. I'd been up all night, obsessing over my presentation, and I overslept. I barged into the boardroom with coffee stains all over my shirt, sweating profusely and smelling like poop. The owner was in the middle of speaking, and everyone stopped and just stared at me. Nobody said anything. They just waited for me to take a seat. I'd made my presentation, but I couldn't tell you how I did. My head was somewhere else. It affected my relationships too. My girlfriend was really understanding, but I could tell that she was getting really frustrated. I remember this one time we were grocery shopping. I was in a total daze, meaning she was pretty much doing all the shopping. She only asked me to get one thing. I think it was some apples. Well, I was so up in my head worried she was going to dump me that the apple chore became impossible. Weirdly enough, I was the one who broke things off with her, and that left me feeling very isolated and alone. She was the only person I talked to about my feelings. My family always projected a positive outward appearance. We never talked about the problems in our lives. I can remember my mom innocently asking me about my life, my love life, my job, when I was going to move in with my girlfriend. I hadn't told her we broke up. It was too much, and I just drifted away. But eventually I started to talk to my family about my feelings. It was really hard at first. I was ashamed. I felt weak, like I was a disappointment. But of course my mom was totally understanding. And talking to people about what I was going through helped, made me feel more grounded. Even when my head was hurtling through space.